made the playoffs last year, and as Dennis Silva tells us, they should be contenders again this fall.
The Locomotives lost some big names to graduation, but they have an abundance of returners. Randy Flint is back for his third year starting quarterback. He knows the offense. Now he just has to get the passing game going. 6'6" Joe Belka could help in that category. He's got good hands, and he's quick off the line. The line has experience in Mike Lillestrand and Barry Steen. Running duties will belong to Dean Stoles, a workhorse back, and Chris Van Mill, who has excellent leg strength.
Yeah, we like to put the ball on the ground more than in the air, but we've got to work on our passing game. I guess after playing Minnesota and watching them put the ball in the air, if you want to be that type of football team, we're going to have to be able to do those in order to get down to that area of football.
The Dilworth defense has always been aggressive with good hitters. Lillestrand, Steen, and Jason Sells are up front. Stoles will be in the middle, and the entire secondary returns for another tour of duty.
Just a hard-hitting ball club, and that's the way they've all come about. So we always hit well, and we're kind of an attack defense. We're not going to sit back. We're going to go after people.
Anderson makes good use of every player on his roster, and this season, there's plenty to choose from. In Dilworth, Dennis Silva, KX4 Sports.
You know, there are still a few weeks to go, and the Chicago Cubs have
Falls. 56-8 was the final in the second quarter. The names are the same this year. Randy Flint, 12-yard TD pass to Joe Belka. Locos lead it early 14-0. Chris Van Mill will carry it in from 5 yards out. Locos built a 21-0 lead. They won it big tonight over Red Lake Falls. 56-8 was the final.
Again in the Valley Plains Conference, their first effort, a very impressive one tonight as the Locos ran all over Red Lake Falls. Certainly the Dilworth fans had plenty to cheer about tonight. Here comes Locos quarterback Randy Flint right into your living room and then on into the end zone, covering 65 yards on this play for a 7-0 lead. Now watch, on the very next drive, Flint will connect with senior flanker Joe Belka, who does a nice job hanging on to the TD pass. 14-0. They would do a lot more scoring after that. 56-8.
Class C football poll. This Friday night, the second-ranked Dilworth Locomotives and the fifth-ranked Glendon Felton Buffaloes have their annual showdown. Mike Sweeney has the story.
The Locomotives come in ranked number 2 in the state, but their standing in the polls is not their biggest concern.
This is more the rivalry. It's the biggest game of the year, just about. We just get all ready to play Glendon.
Dilworth has had little trouble this season. The Buffaloes will be their first real test after lopsided wins over Red Lake Falls and Warren.
Kids played pretty well in the other 2 games, and we were happy with the progress there. Now it's a big ball game, so they're going to have to come out and play hard.
Glendon Felton boasts one of the best running tandems in the state in James Taves and Heath Woods. The locals will have to limit their success.
Defense is a big key. They got 2 good running backs in Taves and Woods, and that's, I guess, the defense key for us. If we have trouble at the line of scrimmage with them, it's going to be a heck of a dogfight.
The result of Friday's game will have a big effect on the Valley Plains Conference race, as well as the postseason playoffs, where these 2 teams could meet again further down the line. Mike Sweeney, WDAY News Center 6 Sports.
In high school football Friday night, the Locos come in ranked 2nd in the Class C poll, while the Buffaloes are ranked 5th. Both clubs boast big play backfields, but while the Buffaloes live almost exclusively with their rushing attack, Dilworth isn't afraid to go up top, with quarterback Randy Flint pulling the trigger.
He's probably one of the best quarterbacks in our conference, maybe in the north half of the state this year, and we've got our hands full trying to contain him. He's just an excellent athlete.
I'm sure they know that we can run the ball, and they'll probably want to make me pass.
How do you feel about that, getting into maybe a little air shooting game there?
Doesn't bother me a bit.
Glendon Felton hasn't had to worry about throwing the ball. Last week, Heath Woods and James Taves combined for 300 yards rushing, and the confidence of those 2 is growing with each game.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a lot older and know what I'm doing a lot more. Can find the holes a lot better. Last year, I was kind of, where do I go now? It's a lot better this year.
They're both very good backs, and proving it last year when they were running again this year. So we've got to hold those people down. You're not going to stop them, but hopefully we can slow them down a little bit.
But don't necessarily expect a high-scoring affair. Dilworth has allowed just 8 points this year, while Glendon Felton hasn't been scored on. Friday's game is at Dilworth. Kickoff time 7:30.
The Minnesota Class C, and for more on that game, we'll go live to Dilworth and Rob Meltzer. All right, thanks so much, Dan. Dilworth, of course, ranked number 2 in the latest poll, and Glendon Felton number 5. With me, Craig Anderson, the head coach of the Dilworth Locomotives. Craig, I'm sure you're looking forward very much so to this game. How do you feel about this rivalry game being played so early in the season?
Well, like last year, it was the same type of thing. It was the third game of the year. Just a great rivalry. I think tonight's ball game is going to be one of the same things you've seen for a number of years, just a hard-hitting contest.
How do you grade your team through 2 games so far?
Well, we played pretty well. We executed real well last weekend, and we really got to come off the ball tonight, so line play is going to be important.
Your quarterback, Randy Flint, seems improved this year. Is that going to make you do a few different things on offense this year?
Well, he's matured and come along fine, and I think the players around him have made him a lot better, too, but he's done a nice job for us.
You might throw a little more than we've seen the past few years?
Well, we're going to take it if it's there. We're not going to take something that isn't there, but we're going to throw the ball.
How about for Glendon Felton, their backs? Heath Woods and James Taves are standouts. How do you go about trying to stop 2 excellent backs?
I don't know if you stop them, you try to control them. They were great last year and proving again once year that they're excellent backs. So we're just going to try to control them. I don't think we can stop them.
All right, Craig, it should be a head knocker. Have a good one tonight.
Thanks a lot.
All right, kickoff time for the Locomotives and the Buffaloes here in Dilworth will be at 7:30. Dan?
Okay, Rob. On the left side, 5 yards for the score, 2-point miss. 7-6 Locals. Later second, Dilworth quarterback Randy Flint sets up the screen to Jeremy Kringler, and he finds all kinds of room. A beautifully executed play, 33 yards for the touchdown, 13-6 Dilworth. Fourth quarter, now 13-12. Dilworth's defense holds the Buffaloes 3 times inside the 10, and that would be the difference. Strong defense in the end, and Dilworth with the win.
We gave up a few big runs, and, geez, every time we needed one, they came through. It was just a great defensive effort.
A couple of dandy games in 9-man football in North Dakota.
Dennis Silva. Dennis, how'd it go?
Well, I'll tell you what, Tom and Raj, this game definitely lived up to its billing. The Locals played good. The Buffaloes plays good. Let's go and show you the highlights on this one because this one was a barn burner. Here in the first quarter, Randy Flint on a 5-yard keeper goes in the end zone. Watch here, a couple of noises talked right here between him and Mr. Taves. But Taves will get to speak just a little bit later. In the second quarter, on a 3-yard pitch, goes in for the score, and it's 7-6 as a miss of PAT. A costly one, I might add. But then watch later. Nice play call by Craig Anderson. Goes to the screen right here. Flint will just flick it over to Jeremy Kringler. He picks up the blockers and lots of real estate. He goes in for the TD. It's 13-6. But right here, the Buffaloes weren't done. A draw play. Taves will get it, go across the grain, watch him put it into hyperdrive. This guy, he could be gone. He goes in the end zone, but the refs say he was out at the 5-yard line. They would get a touchdown later. But in the fourth, the Buffs driving. Right here, Eric Tweeden tries to kick it out, but he fumbles the ball on the pitch. Locals survive at the final score in a close one, as it was 13-12, just by 1 point. And also, as you see the score there, 13-9, Waban over Audubon Lake Park. Another score there. With me now, the victorious head coach, Craig Anderson. I got to tell you, that fourth was scary. Had it gone the other way, a couple of balls go the other way, I could be in Glendon right now.
Without a doubt, boy. Our defense really came up big. They had, I think they had the ball inside the 5 3 times, and we stopped them all 3 times, so our defense deserves a lot of credit in this win.
It seemed like the Buffaloes only used 3 plays on you. Simple plays, but you guys couldn't stop it. What did you finally do to make up those options?
Well, we were trying some combination blitzing with our linebackers and secondary, and a couple times they worked. And like I said before, we had some big plays, and those types of situations came through for us.
Is it any sweeter beating the Buffaloes? I know this is a big rivalry. Everybody talks about it, but any sweeter for you?
Well, every win in the conference is a great win for us. When you play the Buffaloes, naturally a great rivalry, you got to be happy with this win.
Real quick, Waban next week. They beat you at home last year. You go to Bomberville next week.
Not only did they beat us at home last year, they've beaten us for the last 3 years, so we know that they're a great football team too, and we've got to get ready to go after them.
Okay, they're going to enjoy the win now. 13-12 the final for that big Highway 10 battle. Now let's go back to Sports Extra with Tom and Raj.
Well, they can't exactly breathe easy, though, with Waban. Boy, that's going to be a great game, too. Well, defending Class B
with a big win over Hawley. First half, Dilworth's Randy Flint gives to Dean Stoltz 5 yards as he dives into the end zone, 7-0. Then Flint takes it in on the sneak for the second score of the night. It's 14-zip. Second half, 23-0 when Stoltz takes it in. Watch him reverse his field here, and he goes 8 yards for the touchdown. Dilworth ranked number 2 in the state. A big winner tonight.
Ranked number 2 in the state in Class C football. They're going to stay there. Routine workout tonight. against Hawley. In the third, the Locos, Dean Stoltz from 12 yards out. It's 29-0 Locos. Later, watch Dilworth's Jason Reeder, the 5-yard QB keeper, making it look easy. 36-0 is the count. They win it tonight. Hawley saves a shutout, 43.
Celebrated homecoming tonight, taking on Hawley. Well, their Teresa Joy aerobic program still paying big dividends because first quarter here, Locos opening drive, Dean Stoltz with a 10-yard touchdown run, 7-0 Dilworth. Then in the second quarter, Randy Flint will call his own number. Watch him go now around the corner, 65 yards for the score. No problem for Dilworth tonight. Wow. You're going to see a final in just a moment here that you may be stunned by, but not really if you've seen Dilworth play this year.
University to Audubon Lake Park. The Locos strike early and often and cruise to an easy win. This game tonight in Dilworth. First quarter, no score, and Locomotives quarterback Randy Flint finds Jason Neubauer, 4-yard touchdown, 6-0 Dilworth. Second quarter, the Locos up 14-0. The pitch goes to Chris Van Mill. He goes around the right side from 10 yards out, 21-0 Dilworth. Late in the second quarter, this time it's Dean Stoltz carrying 2 defenders in for the score. Dilworth wins 41-13 over Audubon Lake Park. All right, Moorhead comes back on track.
Undefeated at 7-0. The Locos, Jason Reeder, a 5-yard touchdown run. This made it 34-0 over Lake Park Audubon tonight. Dilworth gets it going again. Mike Browning on the counter play goes 17 yards for the touchdown to make it 41-6. Dilworth big tonight, 41-13 the final. They go to 7-0. Dean Stoltz, 110 yards rushing and 1 touchdown on the night. Glendon Felton staying respectable.
Up and down season for the Moorhead Spuds, who were back home to face big game in Lake Park in Class C football. It wouldn't happen tonight either. On the Locos' first possession, they march right down the field and score. Quarterback Randy Flint hooking up with Jason Neubauer for the 6-yard touchdown pass. Then in the second quarter, Chris Van Mill will find Paydirt from some 8 yards out. He also had a 77-yard TD run. Dilworth wins it big. The final score tonight, 41-13. Battle Lake in a battle of 4th ranked against
Dilworth hosts Sabika tonight. The Locos finished the regular season as the state's 2nd-ranked team, but they know it'll take a big effort to get through the section.
Well, I think you've got to look at the playoff. It's a new season for us. It's beginning again, and it's time to get ready for these games. And if you don't get ready for this one, there aren't any more. So it's a do-or-die situation.
In college basketball, Bison sophomore guard with a convincing win over Sabika in the second quarter. Already, no score rather. Quarterback Randy Flint finds Jason Neubauer wide open, 35 yards from the score, 7-0 Locals. Second quarter now, Randy Flint on the option, pitches to Dean Stoltz. A nice pitch right there. Stoltz goes 30 yards, looks like a touchdown, but no, he's out at the 1. Didn't take the Locals long though. Next play, Flint to Stoltz, a 1-yard touchdown, and how about Dilworth, 49, Sabika nothing. One of the better matches.
Roll over Sabika tonight. The 2nd-rated team of the state shows no mercy. Randy Flint, 26-yard TD pass to Jason Neubauer, 7-0 Locos. Later in the second quarter, Dean Stoltz, 173 yards rushing and 3 TDs tonight. There's one from 3 yards out to make it 14-0. They roll tonight over Sabika by a score of 49-0. Craig Anderson's club goes to 9-0. Glendon Felton playing great ball at
6C, where 2nd-ranked Dilworth expected to have an easy time of it against Sabika, and they sure did. Let's take a look. Already up 27-0 Locals. Dean Stoltz muscles it down to the 1-yard line. He is a dandy. Must be those aerobics exercises getting him in shape there. And 2 plays later, it'd be Chris Van Mill taking it in, standing up, and the Locals go crazy. The Locos can go crazy with this win, 49-zip. Teresa loves that. Meanwhile, Glendon Felton hosting Park.
Lopsided win over Bertha Hewitt. Early first quarter, already 7-0 when Randy Flint keeps it. He's going to go 17 yards for the touchdown. Point after no good. The Locals led 13-0. Second quarter now, Dilworth up 21-0. And watch, up the middle, Dean Stoltz gets the call, and he's going to go all the way for the touchdown. He breaks about 4, 5, 6 tackles. What a run by Dean Stoltz, 30 yards, and Dilworth wins.
Local steamrolling, though, tonight. Chris Van Mill from 3 yards out gets the TD. Now, later on, Randy Flint watches Southpaw break a couple of tackles, and then he just scoots in. Nice little run out here by Flint. Final score tonight was 47-0.
Bertha Hewitt. Dean Stoltz with a big night. A 5-yard TD run, 21-0 Locos. And then in the third quarter, Stoltz with a 7-yard TD run, 36-0 Locos. Dilworth beating Bertha Hewitt tonight to advance. The final 47-0. And Glendon Felton in Battle Lake tonight saw the season end The hands of the Battlers. First quarter, Battle Lake.
At Battle Lake, the Locos now get the home field edge for this weekend's game with once beaten Ogilvie. And it looks like Dilworth will again have to stop a team with a very potent running attack, which will probably mean that this one will be similar to the Battle Lake game. Very low scoring and hard fought, with turnovers possibly making the difference.
Oh, they've got an awfully good running game. I think they're just a power football team that's going to come at us. So they've got a big fullback, and he tries to blast it up inside. So we're going to have to stop that type of play. So that's what worries me the most.
I feel pretty good about the game. We've been playing real good, constant, steady ball all year. If we come out and play hard, I think we should do all right.
While most of the NFL's 20...
which figure to bring them new respect. At Dilworth High School, the new wave has been moving for a few years already.
The cheerleaders. For years, they've been charged with crowd control, or as some would have it, a crowd out of control. But in Dilworth, where Fridays in autumn are a blur of green and gold, the cheerleaders are out to enhance a tradition.
We want people to think of us more of as a team than a group.
They want to be thought of as athletes, not dancers, not short-skirted girls who top the school's popularity list.
Well, I think you got to be a part of an athlete to be a cheerleader.
I think it's the same. A lot of people don't consider us athletes at all. They think of us as just social people trying, you know, be pretty.
What we've tried to cut out is the visiting and the talking and the giggling and the practice on the sidelines.
In the attempt to make cheerleading more of a sport, the girls are boosting the degree of difficulty. These days, practice also means aerobics, warm-ups and warm-downs, even weight training. Many Dilworth girls compare cheerleading to other athletics.
I'm a football cheerleader, basketball cheerleader, and I play volleyball. In any sport, you can get pulled muscles. Cheerleading is just the same as volleyball as far as stretching out and getting prepared.
The Dilworth cheer team is gambling. The results of hard work and a new attitude will sell them as athletes. Even their adult supervisor is switching from cheerleading advisor to coach. Julie Holgate, KX4 News, Dilworth.
Tomorrow's a big day at the Live. River faces its biggest challenge of the season tomorrow for more than one reason. First of all, the Locos have never made it past the quarterfinals, and they've never played a team as big as Ogilvie. Dana Mock has the story.
For most of the season, Craig Anderson and the Locos have been able to outmuscle opponents. But tomorrow, things will change. And the Locos also hope to change their recent luck. Last year, Dilworth's season ended here in the quarterfinals to a diversified Minneota team, the eventual state champions. But this year, Ogilvie brings to town a one-dimensional offense. Craig Anderson says there is no surprise with Ogilvie. They line up and run you over.
They're awfully big up front. They got a couple linemen up there, 250, center 230. So they're a good size up front, probably the biggest team we're going to see.
How can you match up with that?
I don't think you match up with it. You just line up and try to get off the ball quicker than they do and try to hit the seams quick and get in the secondary.
Is this the biggest challenge for the line this year?
I don't know about that. They're going to be a lot bigger than us, but we have the speed, so we should be able to take them.
Many of these Dilworth players were on last year's team, the most successful in school history. This team equaled last year's accomplishment of a section title and plans to add more wins to an already perfect season.
Yeah, we want to do a lot better than we did last year. We're not going to let down at all this year. We're ready to go find somebody and just get them.
The challenges don't get any bigger for the Locos, and by the looks of Ogilvie, neither do the opponents. Dana Mock, WDAY.
Out at Dilworth, this action taking place for this evening. Third quarter, 16-14 Ogilvie when Dilworth quarterback Randy Flint gives to Chris Van Mill. He rambles 53 yards for the score, and it's 22-14. The Locos up on top of Ogilvie. In the third quarter comes the game-winning score, though. It's Ogilvie quarterback Scott Black giving to Ben Fornes, and he gets open and outside a 62-yard scoring run, and that would be the difference as the Locos end their season losing tonight to Ogilvie 23-22. Also in Class C, it was Mahnomen over Becker 28-10. Minnesota 9-man play.
All right, a tough break for Dilworth tonight. They took Ogilvie to the limit, but they lose one game on the year by 1 point. Third quarter action, 16-7 Ogilvie. The Locos, Dean Stoltz, 4-yard touchdown run at 16-14. Locos trail. Then Dilworth again. Chris Van Mill, a 53-yard touchdown run to make it 22-16 Locos after the 2-point conversion. Big play there by Van Mill. Watch Ogilvie's Ben Fornes. He's going to get loose to the outside right here. Nice move back inside. He goes 63 yards for the touchdown to put the Lions up. Or this tied it at 22. The conversion was good. They win it 23-22. Ogilvie will move on into the playoffs. The Locos finish the season at 11-1. Mahnomen wins tonight. 28-10 was the final. Defending champion Minneota, no score on that one.
Finals with a victory over Ogilvie. This promised to be a great matchup. It was. Ogilvie's Pat Peterson goes in 4 yards for the touchdown, make it 7-0 Lions. They led it 16-7 by halftime. Now in the third quarter, Dilworth rallies. Watch Chris Van Mill run 53 yards to put the Locos up at this point, 16-14, and the local fans were loving every minute of it. But with 2:59 left in the third quarter, Lions quarterback Ben Fornes will go 64 yards. The Lions go on to win this one. The final score tonight in a toughie, 23-22.
And we came out and played a lot better in the third quarter, and we really got her going. And of course, they busted that one big running play, and then, boy, they had punt must have gone about 70 yards, and that really kind of broke her back. So we didn't really get field position after that. So it was a tough loss for us, but the kids have played hard all year, and that shows what type of football team they are.
You bet. All in all, a great season for Dilworth anyway. 23-22 the final. We don't have a score from Mahnomen Becker. We can tell you that Mahnomen was leading that game early.
Receive for the Eagles.